Ever look at your electric bill and just sigh? You're trying to use less power, but that number at the bottom just keeps climbing. What is going on? Well, it turns out the answer might have a lot less to do with you and a whole lot more to do with the AI boom. So let's dig into this surprising and hidden connection between big tech and your wallet.
And that's exactly what happened to Cassandra Linez from New Jersey. I mean, she put it perfectly, right? It felt almost like a slap in the face. You do everything right, you conserve, and your bill still goes up. It's incredibly frustrating, and it's a feeling a lot of us are starting to have. Her story really sets the stage for the mystery we're about to unravel.
So really, what is going on here? How can you use less energy but pay more money? It just doesn't add up. That is the big question we're tackling today, and believe it or not, the answer is kind of hiding right out in the open.
All right, first things first, let's talk about the direct impact on your bill, that piece of paper that shows up every month.
Okay, let's break down Cassandra's situation. She's in northern New Jersey, she checks her usage, and yep, it actually went down. But her bill, it went up, and the smoking gun was this one line item, supply charges. It jumped by $29. Now remember that term, supply charges. It's going to be a really big clue for us.
So what's making those supply charges shoot up? Well, to figure that out, we need to zoom out a bit. We're talking about a massive, almost unbelievable thrust for power coming from one place, the AI industry.
And to really grasp the scale of this, you have to picture a place called Data Center Alley in Northern Virginia. People call it the Wall Street of the data center industry. It's basically ground zero for this explosion. We're talking more than 200 data centers built or on the way in just one county. It's wild.
And the speed of this growth is just mind-blowing. Get this, between 2021 and 2024, that's just 3 years, the number of data centers in the US almost doubled. Doubled!
And the money? Oh, the money is just staggering. We're looking at a projected $475 billion in spending on these things in 2025. That's a 42% jump from the year before. Just wow.
So all these new buildings, all this money, it creates this insane hunger for electricity. The demand from data centers alone is expected to triple, not in a decade, but in the next 3 years.
And look, this isn't just some wild guess. Tyson Slocum from Public Citizen, a watchdog group, he put it bluntly. He said, the record energy demand we're seeing, it's not because you left the lights on. It's being almost entirely driven by these giant, power-guzzling data centers.
Okay, so we've got the culprit, this massive AI power drain. But how does that actually make your bill go up? How does the cost get from a data center in Virginia all the way to you? Let's follow the money.
All right, you got to know about this thing called PJM interconnection. I know, it sounds super technical, but stick with me because it's really important. It's the biggest power market in the US, covering 13 states and 65 million of us. The easiest way to think about it, it's like the stock market, but for electricity. And the price is set there, that's what your utility company pays, which means it's what you end up paying.
So last year, something absolutely crazy happened in this market. They have this thing called a capacity auction. It's basically where they buy power for the future to make sure the lights stay on. And the prices didn't just go up a little, they went up by 800%. An 800% spike. That's not just a jump, that's a rocket launch.
So, you got to be asking, what on earth caused an 800% price spike? Well, PJM's own independent watchdog looked into it, and they found that data centers were the #1 reason. They were responsible for 63% of that insane price hike. And there it is. That's the smoking gun connecting the AI boom directly to the price you pay for electricity.
So this all comes back to hit your bill in 2 main ways. First, you've got those supply charges. Hey, remember those from Cassandra's bill? That's basically your utility company taking that crazy high market price and passing it right along to you. And then you have delivery charges. That's the money used to build all the new stuff, the new power plants, the new power lines that are needed to feed these data centers. And guess what? Both of those charges are going up.
But wait, it gets even messier. This isn't just a simple story of supply and demand. Critics are saying there's this whole system of what they call sweetheart deals. And what that really means is a hidden subsidy, a transfer of wealth from regular folks like us to some of the wealthiest corporations on the planet.
Here's how it plays out. Step 1. A big tech company comes in and negotiates a secret, super low electricity rate, a discount. Step 2. The utility company has to build a ton of expensive new power plants and lines just for that one data center. Step 3. Now the utility isn't making enough money because of that discount they gave away. So step 4.
How do they make up for it and still make their profit? They raise your rates. You end up covering their shortfall.
Let me give you a real-world example from Virginia with Dominion Energy. They're planning to build 6 brand-new power plants, basically just to serve data centers. But here's the kicker. Look at who's paying the bill. Regular residential customers, whose energy use hasn't even gone up, are on the hook for about 50% of the cost. And the data centers, the very reason these plants are being built, they're only paying about 30%.
And this isn't some distant problem. The utility company itself, Dominion, is projecting that the average residential bill is going to more than double in the next 15 years, hitting $315 a month. And what's the main reason they give for this massive increase? You guessed it, the cost of powering all those data centers.
So, as you can probably imagine, this whole situation has kicked off a huge fight. On one side, you have advocates for regular customers, and on the other, you've got big tech. Let's take a look at what each side wants.
The folks fighting for us, the ratepayer advocates, have a pretty straightforward solution. They say, let's put data centers in their own special customer class. That way, they have to pay for the new power plants and lines that are being built just for them. It sounds logical, right? But big tech is pushing back hard through their lobbying group, the Data Center Coalition. They claim they're already paying their fair share.
And pushing back hard often means using their financial power. For instance, in Virginia, the Data Center Coalition's PAC gave over $2 million to state lawmakers in just 1 year. And what happened next? The bills that were designed to fix this problem and regulate the costs, they got voted down.
The stakes here are incredibly high for all of us. If this system doesn't change, one projection shows that average household electricity rates could jump by a whopping 70%, all just to pay for this AI-driven expansion.
So, it all boils down to this one simple but huge question. We've got the richest companies in the history of the world racing to build the future of AI. It's a race that needs a staggering amount of power. So who should pay for it? The companies in the race? Or you?